And boom, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fat Earth Cast, the Fat Earth Comedy Cast. 3 times a fucking charm, baby.
We've had to restart several times. We're figuring out whose internet is fucking up or the world's coming to an end. But we're
Yeah.
talking skit comedy. We're talking. The other day we were talking about a little bit. Kevin was trying to think of the name of the group from Canada. We did a little research today. The Kids in the Hall. Still kicking somehow to this day. Still going skit comedy, SNL style. There
Yeah.
they are, baby.
And unlike SNL, they don't change cast.
Much of their dark humor focuses on wild characters, including the
Oh,
chicken
shit.
lady, Idiot
I like the
Boy.
chicken lady. I love the chicken lady.
Oh
Look at these
yeah,
idiots.
Kevin
Couple of them.
McDonald. You always remind me of Kevin McDonald.
Yeah. A couple of them made some some movement in the industry.
Some waves.
Some waves in the industry. What was that one dude's name?
Idiot Boy.
No, Dan Foley. No, Dave Foley, because he was on News Radio. We were talking about that last time.
Yep. Scott Ty. We've seen them all in something.
We should have did a little more research because now I'm curious. They say that they're still going to this date, and I don't see any new cast
Oh
members. So
no,
is
it
it just
does
these?
say final episode date there though, 94. I bet it's just in syndication, so they're
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
considering that.
It has to be.
Yeah, I bet that's what it is. Syndication, the money that
You
rules all.
you can only play Idiot Boy, uh, so long.
Well, you've been trying for what, 35 years or something, yeah.
Oh, sweet Moses.
Yeah. So
I would love that. That's like my dream. Ooh, hey, hello, roar.
happy Sunday.
All right, well, you're gonna partake. I'm gonna partake. Let's get bubbly. Cheers, everybody. Hope you're having a good weekend. The days are just melding together. I don't know if
Happy
it's Sunday
pandemic.
or Thursday or April or fucking August.
July 4th, dude. You're supposed to be filming that wedding.
Wow. I
Missed it.
actually, I just filmed something today. It was my great uncle's 90th birthday party, so they did one of those drive-by parade things for him. What else can you do? I went out with a little camera. I kept my 6 feet and filmed up.
There you go. Not supposed to be out in public, breathing normal air. God
Yeah,
knows the house filtration systems. Not only are they great for the city water, but also the public's air.
I should have suited up like Walter White and headed over there, but whatever.
These spores are everywhere.
Yeah, if you can harness them, you might get high.
Did you used to watch Nickelodeon, a skit show here? We're talking skit shows.
Yeah, baby.
Schnapps. So,
Snaps. That's actually where my great uncle, the 90-year-old guys who developed the schnapps. Every time you go over there, he's offering up the schnapps.
all right, there you go. Shout out.
And my
Great Unk.
grandfather's 93. I think this booze is keeping these guys alive. I don't know what's up.
Schnapps.
Because my grandfather still drinks to this day. He's 93 years old. I feel like if he stopped drinking, I think he pickled his organs. This guy's fully
That's
pickled.
regenerated camp humor reused
Yeah.
on the cast show.
Oh yeah.
You can't do that on television.
Yep, yep. We both grew up on
Nickelodeon
that.
skit show back in the day.
Loved it.
If you asked a question, you got slimed.
So wait, but if you said water, wouldn't they dump water from the ceiling too?
There was different chicks.
Yeah. Different chicks and chicks.
I remember the one dude would climb out of the locker and tell a story and then climb back in the locker
So
because
that
it
was a
took
skit
place.
show because all I remember is them just sitting around talking and then I'd be waiting for them to say the word. But now that I think back, that wasn't unscripted, so they knew it was coming. They had that all planned.
Well, of course, it was a skit show, but most
Yeah, when
skit
you're a
shows are
kid.
written.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you think
But
the shittiest movies are the best thing you've ever seen.
It did have a live feeling to it though, now that you say that. It did
Yeah.
have like they were trying to catch someone. That old trick where you ask someone, a question that you would answer with a yes 4 times in a row. Well, then you can almost be certain the human brain would say yes on the fifth time. A good trick in asking out the ladies there. Ask them a couple of easy questions. Can you ride a bike? Do you like
Wow.
sunny days?
I got some information about you can't do that on television. When do you think this thing first aired?
82.
Nope. 79.
All right, all right.
Oh, wait. Locally, you always got to check Dogan's work because I don't really read the fine print sometimes. Okay, it aired in the United States for the first time in 1981.
81. Okay.
It featured preteen and teenage actors and sketch comedy. So it was like a baby Saturday Night Live, but remember all that? That must have been the second generation of that type of show.
Yes. Yeah, oh
Nickelodeon
yeah.
always needed their skit humor on there.
And I loved all that. Keenan Thompson and
Yeah.
the
Who
other
was that
Keenan.
massive chick his when he got his role on SNL, that was like the best thing that could ever happen to that guy. That's why he's still on the show to this day.
Just succulent and then just
Yeah.
sucking on the tea to Lorne Michaels. Well, obviously he's good at sketch comedy though. But I don't know what that big chick's name was, but I remember she used to do a great French woman in a bath character.
Yeah. No, she had like ask. Hold on. We gotta look this shit up. So
Ask a French lady.
Is Keenan the guy on SNL or is that Cal? That's Keenan, right?
That's Keenan.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Good burger.
Amanda Bynes, she was on there. She's had her drinking problems lately.
She's not on my radar. I don't know who that is.
I'll show you right now. You know her. She got a sitcom and stuff right here.
Oh, she's cute.
Ashley. She used to be really cute. Then the drugs took over, and now she's kind of a Lindsay Lohan kind of mess. I hope
Nick
she.
Cannon was on all that.
Wow.
No way. Gabrielle Iglesias, Jamie Lynn Spears. You know I need to bang.
Who's that?
That's Britney Spears' sister.
Well, didn't Britney start on Disney?
Oh yeah,
So
Lori
her
Beth.
sister.
Weren't you fucking Lori Beth Denberg?
That's the girl. It was like Ask Lori or Words of Wisdom with Lori Beth Dunberg. Remember, she would just say the dumbest shit. I feel like making a skit show for kids it can't be that difficult, right? You could say fart, and you're just gonna kill.
Kel Mitchell.
That's the guy that he almost hung himself last year because Keenan's all Keenan's success.
Oh really?
No, I'm kidding. All of his
Oh,
successes. Wow, Gabriel Iglesias.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He stole
Katrina
all
Johnson. What's she been up to? Fitness exposés, huh? Dude, there's no way. These are just Lil JJ.
lots. Let's see how long this show went for. So
Wow, it went for that long, 11
11 years,
years.
yeah. Again, like I said, if you're on a kids station, you can't really have that much. You don't need that good of content. I don't feel, or maybe I'm just giving kids the short end of the stick. Maybe kids are harder to please. I don't know.
Depends.
Lord knows we're having a trouble cracking our way into the business. We can't fucking
Whether it's
focus
a
on 20 year
toy,
olds.
whether it's a toy or a fucking cartoon show or book or whatever, it's just you never know what's gonna hit. What are you gonna
Right.
do?
Yeah, I was watching that special about the toys that we grew up with, and they were talking about the Ninja Turtles. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, I love
Because the
those.
the whole comic or the whole cartoon show was made just to sell the toy. It's fucked up, man. They know how to manipulate the kids' minds like to a T.
Are you a Saturday Night Live guy? And if so, which generation? And if not, okay. And if like so, the answer yes would mean all of it. The
Uh-huh.
answer, well, I liked it when Andy Sandberg or Adam Sandler, whatever generation you pick there, or no, never liked it, don't like any of them.
I think I fall in the camp of a lot of people. I really liked it when I was younger to more of the high school age, where you kind of sneak to stay up late and you're watching stuff that you might not think it's a little taboo at the time. Kind of like what you were saying about the HBO specials, because my
Because of
mom
the
was super
cast
strict.
or because of how old you were?
Well, I think it was nice for me because the timing, I actually had a pretty good cast. It was the Will Ferrell, it was the end of the Sandler, Dana Carvey, Mike Myers era, and then it was the Will Ferrell. Um, who else was on there with him? Let's
Anna
do a little thinking.
Gasteyer,
Yeah, Anna, Tim Meadows, uh, the Goat Boy,
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer, and then
What
Chris Kattan and all those guys.
Chris Kattan? What was Phil Hartman?
Yeah, that might have been right at the end of his, unfortunately, his life.
Well, no, because Phil Hartman went a little bit after Sandler. Hartman was on for like 9 years.
Yeah, I think he died while he was on the show. If I'm not mistaken. Or no, you know what? He might
News
have.
radio.
Yeah, he was in news radio.
Yeah, because they like actually aired the last one he like filmed prior to the tragedy.
So yeah, to get back to your question, I did like SNL. The older I get, I watch back on some of the old ones, and I really like them just because of the actors involved, Belushi and Aykroyd and Murray.
I
Um,
really like it. I like that it's live and you never really know what you're gonna get. Sometimes I love when they laugh or like remember when Farley got hung up on the
yeah.
coming down, dropping down into the news thing, and that was a total accident, you know. So like
Yeah,
uh it was always cool having that moment. I feel like they've really shown their cards as far as politically nowadays because they're
yeah,
so NBC is so democratically um, owned or positioned that hate them or love them. I wish it was more of a bipartisan kind of thing. I'd like to see
right.
these two parties in real life working closer together instead of further apart. So when you pick one side, no matter which one, you know, it's detrimental to that. And so I feel like they've lost me a little bit in that. It's funny because during the Obama administration, I never felt that. You know, it wasn't SNL kind of stayed kind of neutral, but
Hmm.
now that the president's Republican, they really chew him up, and they did the same with George W. And I feel like at some point, maybe I'd rather they just stayed where they made fun of both sides or no sides at all, then, and
Yeah.
focused more on other things to make fun of in current events, which would be so easy. You don't have to take cheap shots. But and the funny thing is they've had Trump on as a guest, so it's funny to be disrespectful now. Two New York teams, you know, battling each other. But SNL, I think is great because it's live. They're off the cuff. The writing, it's turned out so many famous writers and celebrities.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
It's
it's my
also a
number
pop.
one. I
It's
think it's
also,
the
well, I think
greatest.
it's a lot of people's number one, and there's a reason why when you get SNL that your career can change. But going back to what I was saying is it's also like a pop culture show because you have a musical guest, and depending on the times, like when we were growing up in the 90s, I don't know, again, maybe this is just I'm biased because I love that music from my childhood. I feel like every kid, remember talking to your dad and saying your music's old person music and my music's cool. And then now I'm getting older and I feel it the same, but is it true or not? In the 90s there were so many good guests on there, so many different people breaking waves. Now you see this stuff and it's Lisa or Ashley Simpson lip singing or lip syncing or whatever the fuck you call it, and I don't know. It's just not the same. Plus the host and stuff. It's interesting and that political stuff. They have been doing it for a long time, but even with the Will Ferrell doing George W. It wasn't the whole show. Now I feel like it's, Alec Baldwin coming on as Trump, and then everything is just so pushing that agenda, which again, I don't have a problem with that, but you got to have both sides of the party.
No, that's the feeling I get. Yes, they've always been political, but now that I get older, I get to look back and say, man, they really whenever it's a Republican, they just make him out to be this total idiot doofus more so than I think Alec Baldwin is a good example because he hates Trump
Hmm.
and the Saturday Night Live and Lorne Michaels positions himself from the Democratic standpoint. So you have two factors going at him where literally Alec Baldwin's been very outspoken about how much he dislikes him. So to play the character, of course, he's going to put that extra spice on there of his own taste.
Yeah, I mean it's
But
funny too. I laughed sometimes, but after I see it 50 times, let's move on, my friend.
I don't like when they take a non-cast member, and it's always been so cool. Like the dude, who's the guy I'm thinking of from Superbad? That's the cop. He,
Oh, Bill Hader.
oh, I love Bill Hader. He's such a good impressionist, but that's
Yeah,
why
he's
he's
good.
he's good at doing like different voices and that. I don't know, like I don't know. I really respect the actors that are on it, especially the ones like not everyone makes it big. You really got to be a select one to be a Chris Rock or an Eddie Murphy out of it, or Chris Farley or whatever, because there's a big cast every year, and you don't remember. Look, I can barely remember Hadar, and I really like him. I thought he was one of the better ones on the show ever. So it just shows you there's so many people that have come through that system. But it always helps your career, your notoriety, small to big. I mean, you would always put it on your handbill, SNL's James Marchetti going forth. It'd be like being a world heavyweight champion, right, for boxing. These guys,
Yeah.
they're not the current world heavyweight champion, but every time you introduce them, it's world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. It's like, sir, you never lose the title. So once you're on SNL, dude, you know you've made it as a comedian. And you probably know more than me, but I've heard the auditions in front of Lorne Michaels are like real stressful, and it's just you with him in front. You're just in front of him, and
Right.
he's sitting in a chair, just and you got 5 minutes. Go, and
Yeah,
he
he
does not
usually doesn't
laugh even.
laugh. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yep. Even if he
Yeah,
finds
that's
it
intimidating. I don't know if I could handle that, but I
funny.
can't handle the drunks at the local bar, so no, I couldn't handle that.
I feel like the first 3.5 minutes you would be like nervous as a fucking nut, and then the last minute and a half you'd kill, and you'd be like, "All right, you were nervous, dude. I see it. You're good."
Well, the nerves could be a good thing because you definitely would be prepared, but to be a comedian, especially a stand-up, you have to just be ready to to be beaten down at one point in your life. Even a lot of these people talk about how their first couple of gigs they actually they absolutely kill, and then it's like the sophomore slump. They can't get back to that same level or whatever. Again, maybe the first couple of times all your family's coming out and seeing you and stuff, and then after that it just kind of becomes normal everyday people, and then that's where it becomes tough.
With my humor, I don't think I could have my pops out right away.
No, I would suggest you don't.
Right.
Although my
I,
mom's heard some of the graphic stuff and she may not laugh, but she doesn't get too offended about it.
that's horrible, Kevin.
Yeah.
It's like that CD I bought you back in the day.
That
I'm
Adam
gonna
Sandler.
break that fucking thing in half.
Oh, Toll Booth Willie was here? Da! You
All right,
fucking
so
prick!
Saturday Night Live, I brought it up first. One, it's probably my favorite just because it's got so much going for it that the others I you compare all the others to it. When I went through my
Right.
list, I was like, okay, so it lasted 2 years. Cool. So it lasted Saturday Night Live's on its 38th or 40th season. Like it's like presidents, dude. Like it's something ingrained. So I compare all the others almost to it, so that's why it became number one. But it's also why I brought it up. So during the middle of its existence, Saturday Night Live, one came out. I believe it was on Fox, its competing company,
Oh yeah, I know where you're going.
In Living Color.
Oh no, no, but that's a pretty damn good one. That one actually is good because it took the
It
opposite.
predated the one you were talking. I know where you're
Right,
going,
right.
which I believe wasn't it the precursor to Mad TV?
Yeah, but in Living Color was all
Was it
the Wayne's
ABC?
brothers.
Yeah,
No,
was it on
I think it
Fox or
was Channel
ABC?
2. It had to be on
Yeah,
Fox. That's the only place that's gonna allow all those brothers to perform, I think.
ABC had the Moesha feel before they were CW.
But I think In Living Color had some of the best talent. But I
Jennifer
don't know.
Lopez dancing around with that beautiful ass.
Yeah. But no, the Wayne's brothers, those guys are fucking hilarious, and there's like
Oh
20 of
yeah,
them.
and another production, a lot shorter lived than Saturday Night Live, but the names, I mean, Jim Carrey's as big
Yeah.
as anybody that came out of SNL. The Wayans brothers are as big as Will Ferrell. I mean,
Yeah.
so
SNL
um,
just had more of them, but In Living Color definitely did have a nice slice of the pie.
great low key movie. I think I've forced it down your retinas before. Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans is the cop,
Uh-huh.
and Adam Sandler's the criminal, which is like it's different. It's the opposite of from like Eddie Murphy and uh, not Bridges.
What?
Not Gary.
Beverly
Was it
Hills?
Gary Busey? No, 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 no. When the dude's fuck when he's L.A. Law or no, 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 no. He was
Gary
fuck. You know,
Busey is quite the character.
it might have been Busey. Anyways, back in the 80s, there's three of them. Early, there's two of them. Yeah, it'll come to me. But good buddy cop. Anyways, Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler are fucking hilarious. I got piss on me.
Talk about two worlds colliding. You got the SNL and the In Living Color coming together as friends. I wonder
That's
if
what made me
Lauren
think of
Michaels
it.
produced that or what the deal was with that one.
No, no, that's Universal Pictures, I believe. Maybe Paramount.
You might have a deal with those dudes though.
Well, there's a slew of these things that came out all during different eras, and more recently, I and I'm gonna bounce around here as far as decades, but we're gonna hit all of them now. Living Color, I feel like morphed into Mad TV.
No, Mad TV was based more on the magazine.
Well, sure, but it was sketch comedy.
Yeah, but they had the spy versus spy and stuff. I think it was an entirely separate entity. I think that the Wayans
Yeah.
brothers had control over In Living Color, and then that dissolved
Oh no
because
no
they
no no
started
no! I
making
know it
movies and
was
shit.
complete, but not from Fox Channel standpoint. They
Uh-huh.
said, "Yeah, we got another group of people, but we want sketch comedy again on Saturday night to run against SNL."
Right. They were trying to beat it and they never could.
It's kind of weird that SNL has been able to exist coming out at 11:30 at night for that long. Like now that I think about that, that is pretty late at night. That's pretty fucking sick.
In Living
These
Color
sketch
was on
comedy.
Fox, just to clarify.
Thank you. Mad
I like
TV
Mad
also on
TV.
Fox. Um, I remember you
Artie was
used
from
to.
Mad TV.
Well, one you're probably not a fan of. More modern Comedy Central. Didn't really watch it much myself, even though I do appreciate her comedy a little bit. I have seen several episodes that did make me laugh. Inside Amy Schumer.
I always like to give the sketch shows just a little taste because I want to see what they're doing. I want to see where they're going with it. Again, one of my dreams would be not even necessarily to perform. I would love to write just because I feel like if I got into an atmosphere when me and you get together that the ideas start to flow. Imagine if you had a room full of like 10 or 20 people.
Oh yeah,
It could be
South Park
mayhem
style.
though. People might be fighting I hear it's a very cutthroat industry because you want your skit to go on because that means that you're going to be able to act in it.
Right, right, right.
But, you know, there you got people like Al Franken who he'd pop in from time to time, but he was just cool being a writer. Conan O'Brien was a writer for SNL for such a long time. The guy that plays Better Call Saul, the fuck's his name? He was a writer
Oh,
for SNL for a long ass time.
yep, he's
And
good.
then Conan said he saw him pop up as Saul, and he was just blown away because he didn't know that he could actually act. What's his name? Come on, we need names. Aren't you the fact checker, young Jamie?
I wasn't ready for the Better Call Saul question. I have not actually watched that show, even though I know what it is.
The show, the Call Saul, the show is good. Check it out if you like Breaking Bad.
I liked the first two seasons of Breaking Bad, but unfortunately, it got a little too
No.
jump the shark for me.
Wow, this idiot. How did Breaking Bad jump the shark? There's 5 seasons of the thing.
Right, it's short,
When he
but
started selling it, he jumped the shark. He shouldn't have
nope,
started selling it.
nope. See, the thing is, he had cancer. He's supposed to die, so he's going to do something. Then all of a sudden, now he's got a new problem he's got to fix. He's got a new problem he's got to fix. He's got a new problem he's got to fix. It just didn't seem. It seemed like something they set out to do 2 seasons of, just like an HBO True Detective, which would
Yeah.
have been superb, 2 seasons. But they got money hungry, so they stretched it out. And the guy that's died of cancer all of a sudden's living more and selling more and in more hot water, and new problems come on. So I watched the
No,
first two
no.
seasons, and I didn't like when I found out they signed him for a third. And then when I watched it, I didn't like that where it was going, and I said, okay. And I know I'm in the minority with that, but that is what happened. So
Yeah, so
I
let me
was all
explain to
in
you.
first 2 seasons live. I watched it weekly. I really liked it,
Right.
but
That character arc needed the point where the cancer. Spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've seen Breaking Bad, but it's been like 10 years, so fuck you. But they needed the point where he realizes that he's actually getting better because that takes all his bad actions and now he has to think about his life. Why am I doing this? I'm actually going to heal. So now he's a straight criminal and he's going to get better. You needed that character arc because then he had to
they
choose the road.
didn't.
What are you talking about? He had to. I love that fact that he had to look at his life and go, look at all the shit that I was doing. I was a criminal.
I
I
respect
felt like
that.
I was gonna die, and
I
now I'm gonna
respect that.
live. Which way do I go? He had to pick the path. Obviously, he picks the path of becoming the bad
I
guy.
didn't
But
like that storyline. I like the
yeah,
storyline of the dude's dying, so he starts doing illegal shit for the first time.
uh
Not
huh.
this. Okay, now he's living, and I'm going to write 4 more seasons. You
Did you
know?
watch the last seasons?
Nope.
And that's your fucking. Well, this guy's talking about it. He hasn't even
I
seen
stopped after
shit.
two episodes into the season 3. I'd watched 1 and 2 religiously every week when they came on. Okay, I liked
Mm.
it that much. I was way ahead of the curve on that show. When season 3 came out, I watched the first two. I was already pissed that they had taken a story because I knew the background. They signed this great actor, um, AB, not ABC,
AMC,
AMC finally gets this big actor to sign on for one of their shows. And I had watched a lot of AMC because there was a couple other shows I liked.
Walking
Uh,
Dead. Yeah.
nope.
Oh.
Chris Angel.
Oh my
And
God. This is this
yes,
guy's fucking credentials. Let's just shut him off now, ladies and
I'm just
gentlemen.
being honest. I watched Chris. I
This
watched
guy's a
Mind
fan
Freak
of
when it
Mind
first came out.
Freak.
There was something
Fuck
else
me.
on there. Yeah, there was something else on it. That jumped the shark too. But ultimately, I liked Breaking Bad a lot. They got this first. We got our first great actor. We signed him for 2 seasons. We're gonna write a show for this guy in between movies for 2 seasons. Great. Show took off. AMC takes off. They make so much fucking money. They don't know how to turn off the fucking gravy train. So all of
They
a sudden, what
did.
we
Five
signed him
seasons isn't a gravy
we
train. The
signed him
show's built
for
for
a third
20.
season. We're gonna write a third season. The guy's living. He's gonna beat
Yeah.
cancer. Okay. Then the fourth, we can sign him for a fourth season. Yeah, they would have went 12 seasons if he would have allowed it. All right. It
No,
was
he had an
fucking.
end fucking game,
It was
bro.
a
Vince
show
Gillian wrote this shit and
that
he knew
started
how he
off.
wanted to end it.
They started me off. You got to remember, you probably binged watched it. I got
Right.
one
I
episode a
did.
week, which
Yeah.
completely. It's like Lost. Lost is completely different binge watch than it was watching per week bi-weekly. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
waiting
Lost
a
is
whole year,
also aimless.
waiting a whole year for the season. I had invested 2 years into Breaking Bad, watching it week after week. That now these 2 years I spent on this guy I'm supposed to watch fucking die is gonna live. Now I gotta
Jeez.
ride this fucking pony every week again. I watched two into the third season. I said, "Fuck this! I'm not investing the rest of my whole life every Wednesday night for fucking this dude." Now he's living. I go, this show jumped the fucking shark. I'm done.
Says the
So
guy that fucking plays hours of video games daily. You can't watch a 45-minute episode.
I don't have my fucking time to waste. No, what the fuck?
Dude, watch the
So
last season. It's unbelievable.
well, now it's easier binge watching. It's like Lost. I
Right.
remember when Rob was watching Lost. You were in the Lost pack, weren't you?
Yeah, see that show exactly describes what you were saying, where they started it, they didn't have an end game, and then they just kept writing and writing because people were eating it up. So why not make 9 seasons of this horse shit? Vince Gillian said he had a plan of not going longer than 5 seasons.
There's another island.
Roar!
Holy
Yeah.
fuck! We're in
Now
the
we're in
space.
backwards time.
We're in space and time. Yeah, you fucking Star Trek me.
The show can't end when you can time travel. We're gonna
You
go
are
forward.
watching
We're gonna
this
go
shit hand
backward.
over fist.
Oh
Uh,
man. Get the
So,
guy from The Hobbit in there.
but it's
Yeah.
same thing. It's the same thing with Game of Thrones. You invest 6 years of your life when it ends like
Yeah.
that. Now, if you can go back and binge watch all 6 seasons, you're not fucking ready to kill someone when the last season comes out and it's fucking poop. Because you're
Yeah.
like,
Well, Game
okay,
of Thrones had its own issue. They
well, you
lost their
spent, yeah, but
writer.
now you can spend 2 months and watch all 6 seasons. You
I don't
know,
advise that poop.
when you waited week after week after week, that's why people got so fucking hot. And that's what Breaking Bad did
Hmm.
to me. After the dude I invested 2 years in that's supposed to die, my fucking winner shows up and he's living. And it's the same thing as the winner showing up. Dude, you go, fuck this, dude. What the fuck happened? This guy dies in fucking 4 seconds. It was the opposite. This guy's living. I was supposed to see this motherfucker die. Now, if they would have trailed it off into someone else in the story there, maybe it wouldn't have lost me completely. But
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. He pops up. And
right,
Saul.
right. They waited too long.
And the Jesse storyline gets
But
very
no, they
intense. So
made
what,
money and people love it. The people that stuck it
dude, it's
through.
the best show ever made. I
Or
have to
see, let's
say.
be honest. Most people didn't stick it through. They binge watched it long after it was already done. It
Yeah, I
actually
get
got
it.
hot after it was already done. I was
Right.
way ahead of the curve when I first watched. I swear to God, I watched it from first night that it came out because I watched a lot of AMC then. It was kind of my history channel then. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
He believes in the
Anyways,
facts.
Andy
Zombies and fucking.
Milanokis show. You remember our
Oh
boy
yeah,
Andy
wow.
Milanokis?
Guy's 40, but he looks 15. He's got the Gary
Well,
Coleman disease.
when he was 15, he looked fucking 7 and
10. Yeah, he's smoking weed. He looks like he's 8.
that was great when the man show used to send him out onto the curb.
Wait, was Andy Milonakis on Nickelodeon?
MTV.
Oh, okay. Yep. Perfect. Perfect platform for him. I like the Man Show. I thought that was pretty funny. I like those guys a lot better when they were in the Man Show than they are now. Now I kind of don't even like Adam Carolla isn't too bad, but what's the
Actually,
other
maybe
dude?
Milanokis was on Comedy Central.
No, I think you were right. I think he was on MTV.
I feel like it was MTV, but um, all right, let me throw a curveball for you. You're talking about child humor and something that hit a home run, sketch comedy. Well, one Sesame Street.
Oh
All right,
yeah, Big Bird.
that's definitely sketch comedy. It's just not. It's for a specific demographic.
Uh-huh.
And the Muppet Show.
The Muppet
Two
Show was hot. I like that.
two mega giants.
But that's
Uh,
pretty insightful to bring up Sesame Street. I never really thought about that. It's a good you can learn a little bit, you can laugh a little bit. Snuffleupagus is in the house. I watched the whole documentary.
Snuffleupagus.
I watched the documentary about the guy who invented Elmo.
Okay.
And the documentary was really well done. I was like super intrigued by the whole thing. He actually built Splinter for the Ninja Turtles movies. This guy made a ton of different puppets, but he was
Oh wow.
he was right there connected with Jim Henson. Jim Henson would design the puppets and then he would voice all of them. Super talented dude.
Jim
Excuse me.
Henson would voice them.
No, Jim Henson would build the puppets. And this guy would
Oh,
like, well, it started off by him making these really crude puppets, and he made the Elmo puppet. You know how big Elmo got with the Tickle Me Elmo and all
well,
that
did he
shit.
get? I was gonna ask. Did hit on him getting paid off of that? Did he get
I don't think,
royalties?
I don't know. I watched the documentary a long time ago.
It's like some of these ad designs that you think of and see, like whatever logo hits you, and you think of McDonald's or whatever. So many people did these ads over, and you hear like how much they got paid. They got ripped off. You know, you've talked about that to me
Oh, Beavis
before.
and Butthead, yeah, Mike Judge got destroyed on that deal. I think they paid him like 50 or 100,000, and then they just pumped out all the material, all the merchandising. He didn't get any of that shit. Luckily, he came back with King of the Hill and he signed himself a nice little fat deal, which was even more successful because that was on Fox.
Oh, I didn't know that about that background on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, he got
So
jacked.
what? All
But
the
again, think about you writing. He created some show, and MTV's like, we're gonna put your show on TV. Here's a check for $50,000. You're probably gonna go. I mean, maybe not now, but today, let's say you get $150,000 check and your show's going on, and it's this crude show that you're voicing. Again, it's probably a lot of work, but you're a nobody. You're getting paid. If someone came up to me and go, I'll pay you $150,000 to make Top Cities, I would definitely
comedy
think about it.
cast.
Hey, baby.
We want to put the comedy cast on Joe Exotic TV.
It's called For Joe Blows.
We want it to be part of our Joe Blows Hour.
Yeah.
Can
Sesame
you get
Street
the
makes you
showdown?
smarter. Our
And
show
I
makes
know
you
the answer
stupider.
to this. Can you get the showdown to 35 seconds?
Right.
Yes, I thought you could. Thank you, Kevin. It's a deal. Mr.
We're looking at your
Fungus,
analytics right now.
consider it a deal. There's about 35 seconds in the hour and 16 minutes that our analytical computers have tracked down to the meat and potatoes of your show.
Uh-huh.
Can you get your show down to 35 seconds for us at Fox here?
We want you to come on. We want you to say Fat Earth Comedy Cast 8, and then we're going to put our ad, and we're done.
How
Make it
would
happen.
50,000 United States pesos sound to you?
Sounds like it's worthless because the American dollar is going down the drain.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right,
gonna come
folks.
back.
Going down the drain.
Chappelle Show.
Beautiful, beautiful show.
Number one for you, or where are you at?
I think it does rank up there because it didn't keep going on and on and on. Again, I like to bring it back to the Seinfeld theory where if you end on top,
Well,
you got to
yeah, but
question yourself what you're
people
making me.
wanted more, and Comedy
Right.
Central offered more, and there was obviously the little mental breakdown or whatever the fuck happened there, where he didn't appreciate people coming up and doing the fucking lines from the show in front of him and his kids, and he was getting overwhelmed with it all.
Well, it was more of people just tell like the black people were getting mad at him because he was making racial jokes about them. This group was getting mad at him because he was making racial jokes about them. He was making racial things about everybody, and he was just he was getting fed up with that shit. He couldn't make a joke without some kind of group getting pissed off about it. Again, I'm Irish. I love me some cabbage. I love me some booze. Is that a negative thing? Maybe.
Okay, well, that's not a good example of what the, but saying that you're Irish and you don't mind a good racist Irish joke
I
is
would
one
never be
thing.
offended if someone's like, "You're Irish. You're sucking down
Hey
stuffed
Mick,
cabbages with booze."
hey Mick, fuck.
But everyone has these traits. Again, I'm not saying that every Irish person likes cabbage, but the majority of them do, and that's where it all comes from.
They're a bunch of cabbage pickers out there in Ireland.
I might have to head to the home island soon, barricade the walls, and go through this whole
Italians and
nightmare.
Irish always have had a good little rebuttal against each other for some whatever reason, ancient times. What about all right, so I would say Chappelle shows in my top, I would say top three.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, there's not, I got Saturday Night Live and Living Color was a little bit too before my time. Like I watched it, I really did, but um it wasn't, I almost watched it waiting for Saturday Night Live to come on or something. I think it was on Friday nights actually. I think it was on Friday nights at like 8. But
Yeah.
I think I waited for like Snick to come on or whatever.
Oh, old snickery dickory doo. Chappelle's show only went on for 3 seasons, so compare that against SNL, which
You
went was
can't.
is still going on. It's
I mean,
10 times.
Keenan Thompson's done it for 8 more years than the show was on, you know. Ben Stiller had a show. You recall this? The Ben
Mm,
Stiller show.
no,
He was
classic
on
name.
multiple. He was on multiple sketch comedies though, multiple. And his dad had gotten him on the hookup with that because his dad was in multiple sketch comedy kind of shows.
Yeah, I think Ben Stiller had a stint on SNL too, didn't he?
Yes, and a writer. Yep, yep. He was on multiple, but he was on SNL before the Ben Stiller show. Um,
Which
but
channel was that on? Ben Stiller's show. Let me see if I can find it. Oh,
I
and
want to
Andy
say
Milonakis' show was on MTV2, also the home of Human Giant. So MTV2 was taking a risk on some of these no low-level guys at the time, and that would probably be where a platform that we would strive for if those
Human
platforms even
Giant was
existed anymore.
fucking great. God, Human Giant was great. Only a season or two, but geez, I love the writing in that. Key and Peele, fucking great. Love
Yeah, I
the
like that
writing.
show.
Great
I like that show a
actors.
lot.
Fucking hilarious writing and acting. Portlandia, very good.
Outside the Box, we talked about that before.
Just
Have you ever heard of the show Mr.
acting, I
Show?
think that's a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, HBO. I was coming up to a Mr. Show.
Well, that's
That's
David
my boy
Cross and
from
Bob
yeah,
Odenkirk. Yeah.
Yep. You didn't
Odenkirk's all
like
over the
Cross, you
place.
said, but I love Cross, dude.
It depends on
Mr.
on what it is. I don't. I've watched his stand up. I just couldn't get into it. But again, I have this thing about me with the stand.
HBO's free streaming right now. You should go back and check out Mr. Show. They got free streaming for coronavirus.
I think it's on actually on Amazon too. Key and Peele is
What
probably the most popular one right now because they put all their stuff on YouTube and they get tons of hits.
what file sharing are you rocking right now?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, like you got Netflix, Hulu, and you've
Oh,
been
okay.
asking me about several. So what are you running over there? You got the
I have
compound. It
Amazon
sounds
and
like.
Netflix.
Okay.
Maybe a little HBO if I really want to dial it in. I can get that on my computer.
He's been going back and watching Sex in the City reruns, or what was that show? Real Sex 14.
Yeah,
They get the people in the back of the cab talking about love making.
that was back in the
Sometimes
day.
making it.
Back
Sometimes
in the
actually
day, you
making
get
it.
on Showtime or Cinemax at like 1 a.m. or
Here's
get
a
the
show I want to
off.
know if it was on your radar. Uh, VH1 show. I was big into VH1 shows, but I wasn't huge into this, even though I do like him. I didn't see much of it, I feel like. The Kroll show. Nick
Mm,
Kroll.
I saw some funny stuff. I saw some not so funny stuff. Again, these shows are tough to do unless you have a bunch of writers at the top of their game, because you're gonna have some hits and misses. God, do we know the truth to that?
Andy Dick show.
Nah, that's not on my
And
radar.
Andy Dick had one.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Dana
Uh,
Carvey had one right after
Dana Carvey had one.
SNL, and he had
Yes.
all those writers on it. Conan, um, he had a bunch of fucking writers, Louis C.K., and it aired at the wrong time. There's actually a documentary about the making of that show because he had such a powerhouse of writers, but it just goes to show you got to be at the right place at the right time and also have the right facilities at your call. I mean, that's just like anything in life. You got to be ready to go if you get seen, but you never know who's going to see you or what audiences are going to react
You got to
at the
find that
time.
documentary for me. I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, I'll find that for you. All right.
Monty Python's
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
not on my radar. I know it's on yours.
No, I've never really watched any of that. That's kind of older. I
Oh,
like
I
the
thought you were. I
movies.
thought it was you telling me I got to go watch the Holy Grail or some shit.
Yeah, you should watch that. That shit's good.
Okay, well, there we go.
Or you might not like it though. Now that I'm thinking of it, this fucking guy doesn't even like Breaking Bad. He's probably not gonna like Monty Python. Not that they're anywhere in the same ballpark, but okay. So the documentary for the Dana Carvey show is called "Too Funny to Fail." It looks like it's on Hulu at the time. You got Hulu?
I don't have Hulu. I'm a Netflix Comcast guy.
Dr. Zulu? I'm sure it's free at this point. Everything's free because no one can make a dime off
What's the
any
name
of
of
this.
it again? Too
It's called
funny to laugh.
Too Funny to Fail. And it
Okay.
failed, all right. It
Damn, how many
failed
seasons
miserably.
did Dana get to rock? One?
Yeah, I think less than one.
Ouch. Barely passed the pilot.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the show Episodes?
Mm-mm.
It's a it's a British show, but it has Joey Triviani, what's his name? Matt LeBlanc's in it, and he plays himself. He's like a cocky version of himself. It's fucking good.
Huh.
Check that out. You might like that. I think
Before
that's on
Friends
Netflix.
or after?
No, it takes place in like today. Like they get these British writers write the sitcom, and then American broadcast wants to bring the sitcom to America, and then they change the whole show, and then they try and get Joey in it, and it's pretty funny, man. I like it.
Okay.
You could watch every episode. They're like 20 minutes a pop with no commercials. But it's like that British humor. It's British humor seems to be a little more edgy. They seem to not care as much. So I'm hoping that we got our first response coming in for me and Jimmy sent out the Titties and Grits music video to a bunch of comedy music film festivals. We get our first response on April 7th, and I'm not looking for I'm pretty sure we'll be rejected.
Well, who knows what's even going on with those right now?
Yeah, well, this one's in Portland, so I don't think they're going to be
Oh,
supporting titties and
fuck
grits too
no.
much. I should have looked at the city and saw how liberal they are at first.
Hell no. Wasn't there one? There's something in New Jersey, I thought you said.
There's one in Austin. There's one in
It might be big in Texas
yeah,
with
there's
that
one in
camo
England.
on. Don't let them get a glimpse at Skin Mitt. They find
Yeah,
out we're the
yeah.
same guys that did Skin Mitt. They're going to lynch us.
Well, no, they won't. They like that stuff down there.
Not those camo boys. All the feedback I had from the good old boys out here was, why wasn't there more camo in the second one? Why'd you
Because it has
guys
nothing
go
to
to
do with it.
doctor? Yeah, no, but they latched onto that. They thought we were good old boys with the camo out.
Well, I'm
Once that
glad that I tried to
once
use
that
the
had become an outfit, just like the doctors had become an outfit, they were like, "Why wasn't there more camo?"
that's what they said.
Oh yeah,
Well, we'll go back to camo for the next one. The fans have spoken.
the dad bods.
Yeah, all in camo. I'm gonna fucking wrap myself in camo cellophane and roll around on the
You gotta find
grass.
you like an Angus Young like camo, like so like the outfit you wore with no shirt on underneath, and then
Uh-huh.
but goes into shorts.
All
So it's
right.
not like, but almost too short Angus Young shorts.
Yeah. How's that going with that rap tune? Let's get this thing into production quick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we could do it right now with mics and shit, but we can
Does
at
your
least
buddy
get
have a
the.
studio?
Oh, he was kind of decent in the living room there, but that was about all.
Yeah. Well, we need to get the beat first. It always boils back to the beat.
We got to go. Oh fuck, we lost our account, didn't we?
No,
Did
we
you get
got
any?
till the 7th.
Oh, we'll go on there and pick out a like country rap beat or something.
Oh yeah, it's that easy. Oh, we got till tomorrow to do this thing.
Right. What?
Smack my ass.
No, yeah, get some pictures tonight. All right. The comedy
Yeah.
cast is running long, folks.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Kevin's gonna get to work here and get some downloads for stuff for us.
Yeah. If you've lasted this long, ladies and gentlemen, please leave a note saying you've lasted to minute 47 because I'm pretty sure no one's listening to this long. So we could say pretty much anything we wanted, but we'll wrap it up.
We always do anyways. Well, okay, so get some photos of the dads and the sons walking
Yes.
and pick out what's the name of the site again?
Video blocks.
Video Blocks. I'm gonna go look at some country rap.
Yeah, if you go on there, just send me the address and I'll just pop it in and download it all.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
folks. Fat
Video
Earth Comedy
Blocks.
Cast number 8 coming at you. So loud, so crisp, on an Epiphone that's gonna fucking melt your face.
Old school.
Yeah. All right.